Wolfgang Van Halen's relationship with his Hall of Fame surname hasn't always been easy, especially when it comes to his music career. He and Dad, Eddie Van Halen, were close, and many of his saddest moments revolve around his father's untimely death. Wolfgang Van Halen, known as Wolf, was only 15 when he joined his father's band, replacing Michael Anthony as bassist. In his Behind the Music special, Wolf revealed that he became acutely aware of how bad his father's struggle with addiction was after he started touring with Van Halen, saying,
"In '07, it's like there was nothing there. It's like the pupils were black and there was nothing behind it."
According to Wolf, the stress of his parents' 2005 divorce drove his father deeper into addiction. Wolfgang didn't agree to join Van Halen for fame or personal glory. In an interview with Spin, he said, "I just wanted to keep my dad alive."
I think me being there kept him grounded, for the most part.
He turned out to be such a positive influence on his father that in 2007, Eddie checked into rehab. However, some Van Halen fans didn't see Wolf's addition to the band as beneficial at all. Speaking to Classic Rock, Wolfgang explained, "I'd become the biggest enemy of every 40 to 50-year-old man out there in the world. It was something I didn't know how to handle. That did a lot of damage to me." In an interview with The Telegraph, Wolf said that some angry Van Halen fans even accused him of pretending to play his guitar during shows. Singer David Lee Roth wasn't always receptive to Wolf's contributions to the group either, and once refused to record a song that he, Eddie, and Alex Van Halen had written. When Wolf was 8 years old, his dad was diagnosed with tongue cancer, which later spread to other organs. On The Howard Stern Show, Wolf said, "At the end of 2017, he was diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer, and the doctors were like, 'You have 6 weeks.'" However, Eddie underwent treatment in Germany that extended his life by 3 years.
I got 3 more years with him.
2 years before Eddie's lung cancer diagnosis, Wolf started talking to him about the possibility of a Van Halen reunion tour, with him opening for the band. He told Howard Stern,
Oh, that was real, and we were so excited about it, all of us. It just didn't pan out.
In a later interview with The Washington Post, Wolf blamed the COVID-19 protocols in place in 2020 for halting his dad's trips to Germany for treatment and destroying any possibility of a final Van Halen hurrah. Wolf delayed the release of Mammoth WVH's self-titled album to be with his dad in his final years. On Behind the Music, he recalled getting a call from Eddie on the day he was diagnosed with a brain tumor. What his father was saying to him didn't make sense, Wolf shared.
It's not easy to see someone you look up to as a pillar of strength and have to be that pillar of strength yourself.
In October 2020, Wolfgang Van Halen shared the tragic news that Eddie Van Halen had died at age 65, posting on X, "My heart is broken and I don't think I'll ever fully recover from this loss." A month later, Wolf released his single Distance and an accompanying music video that featured emotional home movie footage of him and his dad. In one of the early shots, Eddie beams while holding his baby boy.
I mean, the whole thing it's as personal as it can be. Songwriting is a really therapeutic thing for me.
Wolf wrote the song before Eddie's death and expected Eddie to still be alive when he released it. He told Howard Stern that performing would forever be bittersweet for him without his dad in his life, saying, "There's no way I'll never be able to think about him no matter what I do, which is good but also hurts a lot." Wolf told Rolling Stone that his dad's final days traumatized him so much that it's become unbearable for him to watch hospital scenes on television, explaining, "Even hearing hospital sounds is a huge triggering thing now. I don't even like hearing things like an automatic dispenser for hand sanitizer. It's almost a PTSD-like trigger." In his grief, Wolf tried to protect his family. He took to X in October 2020 to accuse Us Weekly of misrepresenting a cover story by making it seem like the tabloid had interviewed his mom, Valerie Bertinelli, when it hadn't, writing, "The only thing printed in this piece of toilet paper that's true is that we all loved my father." On the first anniversary of Eddie's death, Wolf wrote on Instagram, "I miss you so much it hurts. I'm trying to do my best here without you, but it's really hard." Wolf has been open about his experiences with depression and anxiety. In his 2023 interview with Classic Rock, he listed off a few of the factors that have contributed to his mental health issues, including Eddie Van Halen's substance use problems and an unfaithful ex with whom he had been in a long-term relationship with since high school. He told The Washington Post, I had a family member steal from me. Wolf explained that his ex ran up charges on one of his credit cards after their breakup. Internet trolls have been another frequent stressor for Wolf. Many of his are haters who can't stand to see him succeeding in his musical endeavors. Because he bears his father's surname, some people just want to write him off as a privileged Nepo baby. Speaking with Classic Rock, he said, "I'm not a person to some people, I'm just an extension of the name." In 2022, the online vitriol was beginning to take a serious toll on him. He told Guitar World, "I don't think my emotional and mental well-being have been any lower." Wolf has taken on his trolls directly on their turf and addressed them in his music, but in 2024, he decided to try a different approach to dealing with toxic internet behavior. On an episode of WTF with Mark Maron, he revealed, "I've taken a step back, and it's done wonders for my mental health."